In an incredible finale to the Daytona 500, the driver of the number 24 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet achieved a rare repeat. However, it was riddled with controversy, as some racers lashed out at the organization following an action-packed Daytona 500. So William Byron made history last night by doing the improbable in the most unexpected way. At 27 years old, he joins 4 other legendary names in racing as the 5th driver to successfully defend their Daytona 500 triumph, winning back-to-back. But what happened after the race was something NASCAR did not expect. Allow me to fill you in. Criticism of a major wreck at the Daytona 500 has come in hot and heavy from numerous sources, and Jeff Gordon unexpectedly struck a haymaker during an interview with winner William Byron. According to Matt Weaver of Sportsnaut, reporters asked Byron if drivers were making stupid movements, and Gordon responded unprompted. "Joey did," Gordon explained, alluding to Joey Logano. Byron immediately said, "I'll second that." Logano got a massive run out behind Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with 15 laps remaining, resulting in the collision. Logano saw a lane to the middle as he closed down the space, which could allow him to pass Stenhouse. Stenhouse attempted to block him, which sparked the massive chain reaction in the Daytona 500. Both cars bumped briefly before careening out of control, taking numerous drivers out of the race, including Kyle Busch. Busch had some strong words for Logano following the race. "Looks like the fastest car got in a hurry to get to the wreck," Busch said on a post-race interview on Fox. "Logano was by far the fastest car today. Saw a lot of laps led, and he could about do anything. The Penske cars were very strong. We still got 20 laps to go, and he's trying to go through the middle and make a hole that isn't there. Just created chaos. He was not finished there either. We had a fast car and we were in position and just kind of biding our time and seeing what was going to happen next," Busch recalled. "Yeah, you've got to know how wide your race car is to be able to find a hole that it will fit in, and he obviously doesn't know that." Even the Daytona 500 broadcast crew seemed to recognize Logano, and Stenhouse forced everyone into a no-win situation. "I mean, it's just 2 guys who don't want to give," analyst Kevin Harvick said. "I mean, we're 15 laps to go. In that scenario, Stenhouse doesn't want to give up the track position, and Logano feels like the block was too late, and he is probably a little bit frustrated." In the end, several drivers were frustrated at the Daytona 500, and even Jeff Gordon believed there was a clear party at fault. But that's not all. This incident has serious ramifications for drivers such as Kyle Busch, who wasn't too happy with NASCAR after the race. Kyle Busch doubled back on his criticism of NASCAR's race re-entry rules after a crash, turning to Twitter on Sunday night to vent his disgust following the Daytona 500. Busch was involved in a crash that began with Joey Logano and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. colliding near the head of the field. After getting 4 new tires to replace his flats, Busch and his team felt his car was ready to race again. But NASCAR told them that they were out of the race. Kyle Busch never got a chance to drive his car again. Therefore, the minimum speed restriction never applied. "Parked by NASCAR officials," Busch wrote on Twitter. "Rule says you have 3 attempts to make minimum speed. The race never went back green yet. I don't even think they know their own rules or procedures." Kyle Busch's car flew into the inside wall of the track after the major collision, which involved at least a half-dozen drivers. However, he appeared to be avoiding the worst of the wear. Nonetheless, he was bound by the protocols he described. He explained, "I had 4 flat tires out there and we have these air jack systems in the car, mandatory by NASCAR, and the guy carries an empty air bottle to plug up to the car," Kyle Busch said. "So couldn't plug it up so I could make my own return back to pit road. Said I just wanted a push, so they decided for 3 laps to figure out how to hook it up to tow us back in. Towed us into a work area where our guys reviewed the car, looked over the car, didn't see anything massively wrong. All the wheels were pointed in the right direction. We put 4 new tires on it to go back out to basically see what the next process was going to be for us. And then was told that if you need to work on it and repair it, you've got to go back to that place. But if you go back to that place, they park you. So what are we supposed to do to continue to work on it now that we've got 4 new tires on it and all the wheels are pointed in the right direction?" Even after meeting with the media after the race, Kyle Busch was dissatisfied with the explanations he received and turned to Twitter to attack NASCAR again. "It was a tough day. NASCAR alleges Busch failed not reach the required speed under green after performing garage repairs. So by returning to the pits in yellow, he violated the DVP rule and was parked. DNF." According to Fox Sports' Bob Pockris, NASCAR clarified the rule as follows. NASCAR says the DVP rule is you can only leave the garage once to reach minimum speed, so since he left and never reached minimum, even though he came back when under caution, he can't go back to the garage, and he can't go to pit road for fixes in that situation, only fuel. Kyle Busch was again having a fantastic Daytona 500. Then he got into a wreck with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Joey Logano, from the front row to being parked by NASCAR. Busch had another potential victory robbed from him. Even after the race, Kyle Busch was on a rant against NASCAR. He didn't go on a rampage, but he was dissatisfied with the outcome. You can't really blame him either. Kyle Busch, more than any other NASCAR driver, is not going to keep quiet. If he feels he has been wronged, he will say something. This appears to be a huge thing for him, and I anticipate to hear him discuss the new DVP rule in the future, probably next week, before the Atlanta race. And if you thought that was the end of it, you are mistaken, because the most contentious decision of the race occurred mere seconds before the checkered flag, a green flag situation during a major crash, just one corner from the end of the race. Denny Hamlin is one of the drivers who is upset because of the unexpected winner. He hoped the caution flag would fly during the final lap of the Daytona 500. While speaking with media after the race, Hamlin expressed his feelings about the race finishing under the green flag, despite his involvement in an accident. "I need to see the other wrecks, but I knew they were wrecking," Hamlin said, per Bob Pockris of Fox Sports. "We were surprised we kept going. Once I realized that they were not going to throw the yellow, all I focused on then was let me get a run on this too, Austin Cindric, and get beside him and win this race. Apparently, I think they went green all the way to the checkered. I was destroyed." Hamlin then projected NASCAR's next move after the incident. "They'll react. When they feel like they get trashed socially on a call, then they'll go the other way on the next one," Hamlin said. "Either way, we weren't going to win, so I don't care." Hamlin got engaged in a collision while battling Austin Cindric for the lead in overtime. With no cautions issued by NASCAR, Hamlin missed out on his fourth victory at the Great American Race. When speaking with Fox Sports following the Daytona 500, Hamlin blamed Cole Custer for the wreck. "We didn't have the caution on the first front straightaway spin, and I was like, well, that's the second lease on life to try to get the two. So I measured up the two, got a run on him, and stayed with him enough to where I could kinda control what side I wanted to pass him on. And then we had pulled away from the pack slightly, so I knew a run was gonna come," Hamlin said. "The 41 had the run, and I chose not to block him. In these races, you gotta live to make it off of turn 4, and we just didn't. I thought that the 41 came down. I'm pushing the 2 down as low as I can, giving the 41 all the space and not stopping his run. I thought he steered left and was trying to crowd it. I understand everyone's trying to go for it, and he's going for it. All of us are. But in those situations, we gotta get off of 4, then we can do this. But we just never made it and someone else won." What's your thoughts on the first race of the season? It took a while from start to finish, but did it deliver? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.